We're here today with Derek Moore, Ryche, Chlanda, and Maryann Castello of the band Nektar. They've got a new album out. It's called Mission to Mars. How you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
We're doing well. Here, Ryche.
This is Ryche, Chlanda, who's fronting Nektar these days, and this is Maryann, one of the vocalists.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting you.
We're appreciative of you. Thank you.
How you doing?
Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Good. Fire away.
Well, first of all, Nektar's back with a new album, Mission to Mars. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album?
It's an album that Rich and I wrote over the 3 years of COVID, and we put it together. Mission to Mars came first, and then the others followed. And Mission to Mars was based on a riff that I used to play for soundcheck in the 70s. And Rich jumped on it and said, "Hey, let's make something out of this." So we did.
It's a great riff. It was a great riff. Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't jump on it?
Yeah. So, anyways, there's 4 songs. There's Mission to Mars, Long Lost Sunday, One Day High, One Day Low, and I'll Let You In. 2 songs on each side. The most proggy one is One Day High, One Day Low, and the most rock and roll one is Mission to Mars. And the other 2 are great as well. I'll Let You In is a ballad, great ballad.
And that ends the 4.
That ends the second side. We're still thinking vinyl. I've been doing it for so long. We still think vinyl rather than everything on one side with the CD.
Sure. Well, and this album is part of a trilogy I read. So are the other albums already in the works, or are you guys hoping to get them out soon? Or
yeah, they're all in the works. I don't know about soon. Now we want to try and push this one first.
Sure.
And follow that up next year. I would think next year we'll have the second one out.
Yep. And during our live shows, Dustin, we're getting great responses from the new music. Mission to Mars in our live shows is 3D. So we have a 3D light experience with that song, and also the third piece, One Day High, One Day Low, off the record. And the fans just love it. And we do the entire album live. So it's been quite a trip.
Yeah, it is amazing. I know it's been about 5 years or so since the reformation of the group here, and you guys definitely got back to work in a big way here, starting off with the major trilogy of albums here, and then you mentioned the stage show. I mean, you guys definitely haven't slowed down.
No, since we've got back together, we did The Other Side. That was the first album we did. It was a double album. And then recently we did the live show, which was actually a year and a half ago, Journey to the Other Side. And then we did the new album, Mission to Mars. And
Derek, I know you've been there since day one. Back in the 60s, I mean, it seems like prog rock and jam bands are kind of like mainstay now, but, back then you guys were really kind of helping pioneer this whole kind of genre here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We were doing prog rock before people had a name for it.
It's true.
I think what happens is you do the music that comes into your head. And that's the music you do and how you do it. I don't think we're ever thinking about different time signatures or different pieces, or we weren't thinking about anything. Like, we were playing what we feel is right. Same with Mission to Mars. Mission to Mars, we did that album live, the basic tracks live in the studio, and we did that live in the studio. And then Rich took the tracks and put all the guitars on. And then we added the keyboards. Kendall brought some keyboard pieces right before we went in the studio, and it'd been presenting different parts, and we jumped on a couple of them, especially the beginning of One Day High, One Day Low. We loved that orchestral piece he came up with. And we're looking for an ending to Mission to Mars, and he came up with a version of that we jammed on, and we got to what we finally ended up with.
Yep. All the basic tracks, Mo, tell them it's all analog We go into a room. We love the studio in our area here, at least in my area. Mo was here for a while, but he moved to North Carolina. But we found a big studio. It all goes down to Pro Tools these days, but still old analog gear, analog board, analog real amplifiers, real bass amps, real grand pianos, and we just jam it out there. And then I take it home. Nektar has a Pro Tools system. I have a small studio here, and we just go home and put our individual parts together. We go back, do vocals, and mix it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, and the process is quick. It was very quick this time. We rehearsed for 2 days, went into the studio for 2 days for basic tracks, did some stuff at home, spent 2 or 3 days to mix it, and it was finished. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the mastering is very important to get the master right for CD and for vinyl. There's two different mastering, one for CD and one for vinyl. That gives you the warm feeling of vinyl, and it gives you the crispness for the CD.
Well, I think it says a lot about you guys as players. You mentioned playing the entire thing on stage, and a lot of bands, when you get into these kind of epic albums like this, it's easy to do a lot of studio trickery and then not be able to pull it off live. But obviously, you guys have the chops to do that.
I love it live, Mo. It's a great feeling out there. It just feels great.
It's a warm feeling, too, because it's a 3D light show for Mission to Mars. And to watch everybody put on their glasses with the white cardboard and the little red lens and the blue lens, it looks very nostalgic from our end when we see everybody do that. So it's wonderful to play, and it's a lot of fun.
It looks like a 1950s cinema.
It does.
Yeah, that's quite an experience, with the light shows and the 3D effects. And I don't know if a lot of bands really go that extra mile anymore. I know that was more of kind of a mainstay thing maybe in the 70s, but a lot of rock bands kind of toss that by the wayside, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a complete show, and the idea of the light show was always to depict in film what we're playing. So you get a good feel for what the music's about,
Well, was it tough for you guys to stay true to that style that you had, the long songs and the concept albums? I mean, obviously Top 40 Radio wasn't playing a lot of 10-minute songs, but you guys stuck to that.
I think it's what comes to us. It's how we play it, and we don't really think about the length of it. We think about, does it feel good? Does it feel complete? Does it feel, we never think, does it feel too long? We might feel, does it feel too short? But not, does it feel too long?
Well, do you guys have shows that are coming up here soon, maybe this year or next year? Or what are we looking at as far as the tour for this album?
We're looking at we went out in June, and we went out again in August, and we went to Europe in September. And we're looking at probably November, December, to go out again, and then probably again in March or April. We're working on that right now. We're working on different directions. We want to get out there, but we also need to push the album and make sure that it's doing something, to make sure it's selling. It's selling really well. They've just gone into another printing, so that's really good. And the vinyl comes out, I think, in October.
October 14th. It's the 14th or the 11th? 11th or 14th?
Yeah, of October. I know some have arrived already, so we're starting to get ready to ship some out to the pre-orders, but I don't think it's physically on the market yet.
Well, yeah, hopefully you guys are able to get back around this area here when you get back on the road, and it's got to be tough for you. You're playing the entire Mission to Mars album, and that's got to take up a good chunk of the set list. It must be tough to try to decide which of the classics and the deep cuts and all that to add into the set list every night.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It does. Whereabouts are you?
We're in Minnesota.
Oh, great. Yeah, we definitely want to come to Minnesota.
Were we there before, Mo, in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Where did we play in Minnesota?
I
forget. You have it in front of you? Once we start traveling, it all becomes a blur.
Looks like the Grenada Theater, maybe? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, we played the
Yes.
Grenada Theater.
That's right. We played there.
We did that in 2022.
2022, right?
Okay,
We're
yeah.
out in 2020, and then COVID hit in March, and we're off the road until 2022.
Oh, sure. Well, either way, it's been a few years, so that'd be great if you guys could make it back through here again. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's
we definitely. That's one of the gigs I'm looking at. I've just made a list of all the gigs we've done since we got together, and we're comparing. We've got somebody looking for gigs for us, and we're comparing what we're going to do. But we definitely want to get out there and play.
It was a nice theater too, if I can
Yeah,
recall.
it was great
Very
play.
nice theater.
well, guys. Again, Mission to Mars is just out here. Is there anything else maybe the fans should be on the lookout for?
Well, there should be a lookout for Journey to the Other Side, which we did as a live double album. No, it was a live Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, we've not really talked a lot about that, but that sort of came out, and then we were already into doing Mission to Mars. So
And that took its thunder. Mission to Mars really took the
took all
thunder
the
out of.
thunder, right? It took all the it's Mission to Mars is a great album. I really, really, really like it.
And we're just excited for you to hear it. When you hear it, you'll see where we're coming from even more. Mission to Mars was a little different for Nektar. It's more of a rockin' thing, although it turns a little proggy towards the end. The rest of the record, as it progresses, gets a little deeper, and then it ends with a beautiful ballad. So I think you're really going to like it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. I'm excited for the album here, and hopefully to see you guys come through Minnesota here soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Certainly in the plans, because we didn't do it the last 23 or 24. We did it in 22. So we're ready to go back there. I'll make sure that we get you notified when anything is happening.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. And again, it's been great speaking with you all, and I appreciate the time. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And again, that was Rich Chlanda, Maryann Castello, and Derek Moore of the band Nektar, and their new album, Mission to Mars, is out now.